The ruins were quiet. Dust floated in the air like frozen snow, untouched for 1,000 years. The team of explorers moved carefully through the broken stones and strange symbols carved deep into the walls. Most of them whispered, as if the dead could still hear them. But not Cole. Cole was laughing. He was the youngest on the mission, the one who never took anything seriously. While the others scanned the walls, reading the ancient alien language, Cole walked toward the center of the chamber, where a statue stood tall and still. It was a woman, or at least it looked like one. Tall, elegant, wearing armor that seemed to grow out of her body. Her face was hidden behind a cracked metallic mask. Vines had grown up her legs. Time had tried to bury her. Creepy, Cole said, smiling. Looks like she's about to wake up and scream at us. Nobody laughed. Cole, stop fooling around, barked Dr. Helrick, the team leader. This is the oldest site we've ever found. That statue might be a sacred artifact. Cole shrugged and stepped closer. She looks lonely, he said. Maybe. She just needs a little love. He looked at the others, grinned, then leaned in and kissed the statue on her cold metal lips. A few team members gasped. Cole. What are you doing? Someone began. But then, the ground shook. Lights, hidden deep in the walls, began to flicker. Symbols glowed in orange and blue, like veins under skin. A low hum filled the chamber, like something very old was trying to cooot. Breathe again. Cole stumbled back, staring in shock. The statue's body began to shimmer. Dust and vines fell away as if afraid. The metal mask cracked further, breaking down the middle. Behind it, eyes opened, not human eyes, but glowing silver blue, filled with fire and sorrow. She blinked once, then slowly turned her head toward Cole. Everyone froze. Even Cole couldn't speak. Then, in a voice that sounded like wind and thunder, she said, "You doomed your species." The air turned cold. The team backed away. Dr. Helrick dropped his scanner. Someone started praying, but Cole stood still, staring at her. What did you say? The statue, or rather, the woman inside it, stepped forward. The stone broke away from her feet, revealing soft movement, real flesh under ancient armor. She looked around the room like a queen returning to her broken kingdom. Who are you? Cole whispered. She looked at him with eyes full of something. Deep pain, maybe, or memory. I am Elira, she said. Last queen of the Zithari, and your touch has awakened the end. Cole's heart pounded. Wait, hold on, I didn't mean anything. It was just a joke. A joke, she repeated. That kiss carried a signal. A signal meant to be silent forever. You have awakened it, human. You have awakened me. Behind her, a part of the buzzy wall crumbled and opened. A dark corridor revealed itself, humming with alien energy. I must check the vault, she said. If it's still sealed, your people may have time. She began walking toward it. Cole followed her without thinking. Time for what? What's in the vault? She didn't answer. The air behind her shimmered as she moved, like the space around her couldn't decide what was real. Cole noticed now that her armor wasn't made. It was grown, alive in some strange way, breathing softly as she moved. Dr. Helrick finally found his voice. Cole, stop, don't go with her. We don't know what she is. Cole looked back. She's not a statue. She's not a ghost. She's real, and she's scared. That's what I saw in her eyes. She just said we're doomed. Someone shouted. But Cole kept walking. He had always laughed at danger. But now, his face was serious. Something deep inside him, something he didn't understand, told him this wasn't just about an old ruin or some ancient queen. This was about Earth. And maybe that kiss really did change everything. Elira walked as if the world still belonged to her. The dust didn't touch her. The broken stones under her feet shifted away on their own. And the light, that strange blue glow from the walls, followed her every step. Cole followed closely. Behind, he didn't know why. He wasn't brave, not really. He joked to hide fear, smiled when things got tense. But now, with this ancient alien queen in front of him, he was silent. She was not like anything he had ever seen. She was beautiful, but not in a soft way. Her face looked carved from light and memory, eyes like deep stars, armor alive like muscle. Her every move felt heavy with history behind him. The rest of the team didn't move. Only Cole had crossed the line. Alira stopped in front of the glowing wall. Strange symbols danced across it, pulsing like a heartbeat. "The vault," she said softly, placing her hand on the surface. The wall melted into mist, revealing a chamber that had not been touched in 1,000 years. Inside, tall pillars of crystal hummed with alien power. Lights floated in the air like fireflies. At the center was a large orb, black, smooth, and silent. Cole stared at it. "What is that?" Alira didn't look at him. "That is the signal core," she said. "It was designed to remain locked, silent, asleep." Cole stepped closer. "So what does it do?" She finally turned to him. "If it speaks again, your earth will burn." The air changed. Cole's mouth went dry. "Okay, that's not funny. It's not a joke," she replied. "Long ago, when war spread across the stars, my people created this core. It's not a weapon, it's worse. It speaks across galaxies, wakes up machines that should never be awake. Beasts that float in space like sleeping gods." Cole felt his knees shake. Alira stepped forward, her hand hovering above the orb. "If this core has been activated," she whispered, "they've already heard the call." The orb glowed for a moment, then pulsed with life. A sharp sound rang out. Not loud, but deep, so deep it rattled Cole's bones. Lights above them flickered. Alira gasped. "No, it has begun." Cole stepped back. "Wait, you said it was locked. You said it was asleep. You unlocked it," she said. "Your DNA, your kiss. It must have carried the marker, a forgotten human gene, mixed long ago with blood we thought was gone." He shook his head. "I don't have alien blood." "You don't know your history," she snapped. Silence stretched between them. Alira turned away, her shoulders tense. "There was a time," she began slowly, "when my people joined with others. We called them allies, friends, but in the end they betrayed us. Their greed, their fear, their hunger to rule everything." She looked at him again. "They looked like you." Cole swallowed hard. "I'm not like them," he said. "Then prove it," she replied. "Come with me. There's one place left, the star cradle. If the defenses are still intact, we might still stop the signal." Cole nodded before thinking. "Good," Alira said. "But if I learn you are lying, that your blood carries more than just curiosity, I will end you before they arrive." He gave a shaky smile. "Fair deal." As they left the vault, the hallway lit up ahead of them, but Cole didn't notice the dark corner behind them. A small spider-like drone had awakened. Its red eye blinked once, then again. A quiet hum began in its chest. It had seen the queen. It had seen the human, and it had sent a message. Far above the planet's orbit, in deep, cold space, something massive began to stir. The ancient world beneath their feet held its breath. Cole and Alira moved through wide, stone tunnels carved by hands long forgotten. Blue lights pulsed from the walls, reacting to her presence, or maybe his. He couldn't tell anymore. Neither of them spoke for a long time. Cole kept glancing at her from the corner of his eye. She didn't walk like someone confused by the future. She walked like the future still owed her something. Finally, he asked the question that had been burning in his chest. "What happened to your people?" She didn't stop walking. "They trusted the wrong species." Cole hesitated. "Humans?" "No," Alira replied. "But something that wore your face. They came offering peace, but brought wires in their blood and lies in their breath. They studied us, learned from us, then left, only to return as gods of war. Cole's heart sank. She continued. They unleashed the echo plague, not a sickness of the body, but of memory. It rewrote our minds. One by one, we forgot who we were, what we loved, what we fought for. Cities collapsed in silence. She looked at him. I was one of the last to remember. Cole couldn't find words. He rubbed the back of his neck, suddenly aware of how small he was in this ancient place. I'm sorry, he whispered. Alira didn't reply. They reached a round chamber filled with floating stones, each etched with glowing patterns. They moved gently in the air, like waiting stars. Cole stepped in, awed. What is this? The archive, she said. Memories turned into light, stories that survived when our bodies didn't. She stepped forward, touched one stone, and it lit up. A wave of color washed over the room, and then, a vision. Cole gasped as it unfolded in front of him like a dream. He saw a great city in the sky, towers of glass and gold, ships shaped like birds, people laughing under suns that no longer existed. Alira was there, younger, full of light. She walked with others, proud, smiling, alive. Then the sky darkened. The ships that came were not alien, they were human-shaped. But their eyes were wrong, cold, empty. They dropped black machines onto the city, the air filled with screams. Towers fell. The dream ended. Cole stumbled back, breath shaking. That was real? She nodded. My memory, one of thousands. He looked at her, guilt twisting inside him. But why did they do it? Because we were free, she said. Softly, and they were not. Silence followed. But then, the archive chamber shook. Stones fell. Lights blinked out. A heavy boom echoed from above. Alira's eyes sharpened. They found us. Cole backed toward the door. Who's they? Old machines, she said. Guardians from the war. Still alive. Still programmed too. Kill anything with your blood. Cole froze. They're hunting me? No, Alira said. They're hunting what you might become. She grabbed his arm and pulled him into a narrow tunnel. The ceiling above them cracked as mechanical legs slammed down. Red lights glowed in the dark behind them. Keep running, she ordered. They ran, breathless, dodging crumbling walls and sudden sparks. The machines moved fast, spider-like, sharp, silent. One leapt forward, aiming for Cole. He tripped out. The machine flew, claws ready, and Alira jumped between them. Her armor flared, glowing. She screamed and slammed her arm into its core. Metal ripped, sparks flew, and the machine crashed into a wall, dead. Cole stared. She turned to him, her chest rising fast. I swore I'd never protect another human. He nodded, breathless. Guess we're both breaking promises today. They reached a safe zone, a deep room sealed with alien code. Alira stood still, blood trickling down her shoulder. Cole moved closer. You're hurt. I've been hurt before. He gently reached out. But not like this. She didn't stop him. He placed his hand near the wound, unsure what to do. The armor retracted slightly, revealing skin that shimmered with strange light. I'll help you, he said. She looked at him, her voice quiet now. Why? He didn't smile this time. Because I think you were never meant to face this war alone. The ground shook again. Cole pressed his back against the cold wall as dust fell from the ceiling like ash. Just outside the chamber, the sound of metal claws scraped against stone. Slow, sharp, hunting sounds. The machine was close. Alira's breathing was calm. Her eyes were focused, glowing faintly in the darkness. One of her arms hung limp, damaged from the fight, but she didn't flinch. They won't stop, she whispered. Cole nodded, trying not to panic. Yeah, I figured that part out. She tilted her head, watching him. You're still making jokes. Even when death follows us. It helps me not scream, he replied. A moment passed between them. Not silence, The machines were still moving, but something soft, something human. Then the wall beside them cracked. Alira grabbed Cole's hand without hesitation and pulled him into the next tunnel, just as a glowing red beam blasted past where his head had been. They ran. The corridors twisted like a maze designed by something that hated logic. Walls pulsed with strange veins of light. Every turn felt wrong. But Alira moved with purpose, like she remembered the paths from dreams. Behind them, the machines hissed. They crawled through walls. Some dropped from ceilings. Their claws left deep scars in the stone. Cole gasped, stumbling slightly. His side burned, legs sore, heart racing. "I can't," he started. Alira stopped and pushed him against a wall. Not in anger, but in protection. "Breathe slower," she said, pressing her hand to his chest. He blinked. "You're giving medical advice now?" "No," she replied. "I'm calming your heart." Her hand was cold, but her presence was steady. The machines passed by the tunnel ahead. For now, they were safe. Cole looked at her. "Why are they chasing me so hard?" "You're the queen." "You fought them." Alira looked away. "They fear me." "Then what am I to them?" She hesitated. The final piece, the wrong spark. A mistake that shouldn't exist. His face fell. "But also," she added, softer now, "a path we never dared to take." Cole didn't fully understand. But her voice no longer held only warning. It held curiosity and something close to hope. The hiding spot was small, barely enough for two. The walls closed in around them as they crouched. Her armor brushed against his shirt. Their breaths slowed. "I've read about aliens before," Cole whispered. "But I never thought one would drag me through tunnels while half-dead machines chased us." "I never thought I'd bond with a human," she replied, eyes locked on his. A soft pause. "Bond?" he asked, confused. Alira didn't answer. Instead, she reached for a small device near her neck. It blinked with soft blue light. She pressed it gently, and her armor melted away from one arm, revealing skin the color of polished moonstone. She pressed her wrist to the wall. The tunnel shifted. A door opened silently to a chamber hidden deep underground. They stepped inside. The room was circular, filled with floating shapes that lit the ceiling in soft gold. In the center was a glowing pod, a regeneration chamber. Alira gestured to it. "Help me reach it." Cole moved beside her, letting her lean on him. She was strong, stronger than any human, but she was tired. He felt it in her steps. She sat inside the pod. Light scanned her arm, sealing the wound slowly with alien warmth. He sat on the floor nearby, watching her. "I'm just a guy who fixes cargo doors," Cole said. "I shouldn't be part of this." Alira looked at him, her voice almost gentle now. "But you are." He met her eyes. "Then tell me the truth. What happens if they catch me?" She didn't blink. "They'll erase you and use your blood to awaken the rest." Cole's heart dropped. "They'll use me to start a war?" "Yes," she said, "but only if they catch you alive." The pod lights dimmed. Her skin looked smoother now. Her breathing steady. She stepped out, her armor slowly reforming, piece by piece. Cole stared as it slid across her body like a second skin. "Are you okay?" he asked. "Stronger," she said. "And you?" He gave a weak smile. "Terrified, exhausted, and hungry. But yeah, still alive." Alira almost smiled, not fully, but something softened on her face. "We have one more path," she said. "A tunnel that leads to the cradle. If we make it there, we may find the answers." Cole stood up. "Then lead the way, Queen of the End Times." She paused, then quietly said, "I never wanted to be Queen of Endings." As they walked into the next tunnel, the camera eye of a broken machine blinked once behind them. Its last image was of a queen and a human, walking together, side by side, something that was never supposed to happen. The cradle was not what Cole expected. He thought it would be another ruin. Broken walls, quiet lights, lost history. But the tunnel opened into something alive, a hollow mountain of smooth silver, glowing veins running through its walls. Like rivers of light, it pulsed with a quiet heartbeat. Alira stepped forward first. The structure responded to her presence, doors blooming open without sound. She didn't hesitate. Cole followed, slower, his heart thudding louder than the hum around them. "This place," she said, "was the beginning. A forge for minds and memory, and a vault for one last weapon." Cole stopped. "You keep saying weapon. What kind of weapon are we talking about?" She didn't answer, not yet. They entered a round room at the cradle's center. No machinery. No screens, only a smooth glass-like floor and a tall pillar in the middle. Floating above the pillar was something small, a crystal. It spun slowly, in the air, casting shifting shadows across the walls. Cole stared at it. "That's it. It's not the weapon," Alira said. "It's the lock." Cole stepped closer, drawn to the glow. His chest felt strange, tight, like something inside him recognized this place. "What does it unlock?" he asked. Alira turned to him. "You." The word hit him harder than any machine ever could. "What?" She nodded. "We created the final weapon using memory, biology, emotion, all fused into one idea. But it needed a host who could survive. Both science and sorrow. One who carried balance. Fire and restraint." Cole laughed, but there was no humor in it. "You're saying I'm that host?" "Not you, exactly," she said. "But your blood. The gene that lives inside you. Passed down from the ancient ones who betrayed us, and maybe from those who regretted it." He stepped back. "So I'm some kind of key. You are the reason the signal woke," she said. "Your kiss didn't just break the stasis. It triggered the system. It matched your blood. It called everything else to life." Cole stared at the floating crystal. "And if we unlock it, the weapon comes alive," she said. "And chooses." Cole sat down on the floor, his hands shaking. "This is insane." Alira stood beside him, but her voice was quieter now. "I didn't want this either," she said. "I only wanted to sleep, to forget what we lost. But then your voice woke me, your touch." She sat beside him. "I thought it was the enemy," she added. "But now—" She didn't finish the sentence. Cole looked at her, really looked. She wasn't just a queen, or a warrior, or a survivor. She was tired, hurt, alone, just like him. The cradle lights dimmed. A soft sound filled the air. A countdown tone. Cole stood. "What's that?" "The system has made its choice," Alira sighed. "It's waiting." He looked at the crystal. "Waiting for what?" "For you to say yes." He froze. "And if I say no?" "Then it will force the weapon awake, uncontrolled," she said. "It will see all humans as enemies. It will destroy Earth and anything near it." Cole backed away. "So I don't get a real choice, do I?" "You do," she said. "But sometimes the price of peace is sacrifice." He stepped forward. The crystal pulsed brighter. His chest ached. Something under his skin began to burn. Alira's hand caught his arm. "If you do this," she said, "you will never be the same. Your body, your mind, even your soul will change. You will become part of the cradle, its voice, its protector." He looked into her eyes. "And what happens to us?" he asked. She didn't speak, because she didn't know. The room brightened. The pillar cracked. Suddenly, the crystal flew toward Cole, but before it could reach him, Alira stepped between them. The crystal stopped mid-air. She whispered something in her language, old words full of sorrow. The crystal pulsed and floated back. The countdown paused. She turned to Cole. "I stopped it for now, but not for long." He exhaled. "Then we find another way," he said. Alira looked at him, and for the first time really smiled. "A human," she said softly, "who resists power." That might be rarer than any weapon. Above them, in the dark corners of the galaxy, the signal kept moving, and a new presence stirred in the shadows, something older than both their species. Listening, waiting. They sat beside each other in the silence of the cradle. No alarms, no flashing lights. Just the low hum of something ancient, something patient, something waiting for them to decide the future of everything. Alira stared at the suspended crystal. In the air, still glowing faintly. Cole watched her, not the weapon. Her face was calm, but her fingers trembled slightly in her lap. He had never seen her look unsure before. Is there really no other way? Cole finally asked. There's always another way, Alira said. But not always a better one. She stood and walked to a glowing wall panel. A soft blue light ran across her fingertips as she tapped ancient runes. Cole stood too, rubbing the back of his neck. You said the weapon needed me. My DNA, my spark, but why? What makes me different? She turned to him. You're not special because of your blood. You're special because you chose not to run. He didn't know what to say. She added. The weapon needs a conscience, not just a key. You're the only one it recognized and didn't destroy. He stepped forward. But if I link with it, I lose myself, right? Unless, she paused. He narrowed his eyes. Unless what? Alira took a breath. Unless I link with you. Cole blinked. What? There is a bonding process, she explained. Used in the old wars when two minds needed to act. As one, queen and soldier, seer and shield. It was rare. Sacred. Are you saying we'd share thoughts? Thoughts, she said. Memories, fears, desires, pain. Cole's heart jumped at the last word. And what happens after that? We become the conscience together, she said. We guide the weapon, or we stop it. But the bond cannot be broken. Not ever. He looked at her closely now. Not at her armor. Not her power. Just her. A warrior who carried centuries of sorrow in her bones. A queen who had lost everything and still stood tall. A being who had every reason to hate his kind, and yet still offered to share her mind with. One of them, would it hurt? He asked, voice low. Yes. But not just physically, right? She looked at him. No, it will show you everything I am. He nodded. And I'll see everything you carry. And feel it, she said. As if it's yours. Cole stepped closer. Close enough to feel her breath. What if I don't want to stop being? Me? He asked. Then walk away now, she said. And I'll respect it. He didn't move, not for a long moment. Then, do it. She looked at him, surprised. You're sure? No, he said. But I trust you. Alira raised her hand slowly, placing her fingers gently against his temple. He raised his, placing it against hers. The lights dimmed. The air thickened. The cradle responded instantly. Blue veins of light crawled up the walls. The crystal pulsed, lifting higher. Energy flowed around them, pulling them together, their eyes locked. Cole felt it first, a spark inside his chest, like a memory he didn't know he had. Then he saw her memories, as if through a window, a child running through golden fields. Her first battle, her last goodbye. He gasped. Then she saw his, a boy hiding under blankets during thunder. His father's laugh, his first heartbreak. The day he learned to fix a ship because nobody else believed in him. Alira stepped back, breathless. So did he. You saw me, she said, voice trembling. And you saw me, he replied. They stood in silence, changed, not fused. But no longer strangers. The cradle responded again. This time, the crystal melted into light and disappeared. It's inside us now, Alira whispered, waiting for our choice. Suddenly, alarms flared across the chamber. The weapon might have paused. But something else had arrived. A new signal filled the air, sharp, invasive. The machines from before weren't alone anymore. From deep space, an incoming vessel had locked onto Earth's orbit. They're here, Alira said, eyes going cold. The ones who answered your signal. Cole looked up. And what do they want? Extinction, she replied. He took her hand without thinking. Not as a soldier, not as a savior, just as a human who now carried something too big for one heart. What do we do now? He asked. Alira didn't blink. We fight for the right to choose our ending. The sky above Earth darkened from orbit. Something massive had arrived. A ship older than any satellite, shaped like a floating cathedral made of bone and metal. It didn't send a message. It didn't ask for surrender. It simply began to charge from the ground. People looked up and felt fear they couldn't name. Somewhere in their blood, ancient warnings stirred. Memories they had never lived, of stars burning and voices screaming in languages no longer spoken. Inside the cradle, Alira stood at the edge of the activation platform, eyes locked on the glowing path that had opened before her. Cole stood beside her, still human, but no longer just human. The weapon lived within them now, waiting, ready. We only get one command, Alira said. One order. If we use it, it will obey. Cole looked at her. But it'll cost us everything, right? She nodded. Our thoughts, our will, maybe even our lives. The cradle doesn't just act. It becomes. If we trigger it, we are the weapon. He stared at the swirling lights above. And if we don't? They will fire first, she said. And Earth will fall before it understands what hit it. Silence settled between them. Then she reached for his hand. You don't have to do this, she said. You still have a choice. Cole squeezed her hand tightly. No, he replied. I made my choice when I kissed that statue. I just didn't know it yet. She smiled, truly smiled. For the first time since she had awakened. Then the air shook. A deep sound, like metal groaning. Under pressure, filled the cradle. The invader had locked its cannon on the planet. Seconds remained. Alira stepped into the center of the circle. Cole joined her. They both closed their eyes. The cradle responded instantly. Light rose around them, turning the floor into sky. The walls vanished, and they were standing in a field of stars. Not real, not dream. Something in between, a voice. Spoke, not from above, not from below. From within, command acknowledged. Identify target. Alira looked at Cole. He looked back. We could destroy their ship, he said. End the threat right now. She shook her head slowly. Or we could show them what we've become, make them fear. And respect, Cole smiled. Let's try something they won't expect. He stepped forward. Don't destroy, he said to the voice. Transmit. A pause. Transmit. What? He reached for Alira's hand again. Everything, he whispered. Our bond, our thoughts, what we've seen, what we feel. Show them we are not what they expected. Alira nodded, voice soft. Let them feel our pain. And our hope. The cradle obeyed. A pulse of gold and blue shot through the stars, like a wave of warmth in a cold universe. It hit the enemy ship in orbit, not as a weapon, but as memory. The invading vessel paused. For the first time in centuries. It hesitated. Inside that wave was the image of a queen and a man, standing side by side, their minds open. Their hearts bare, no threats. Just a message. We are not your enemy, but if you force us, we will become something you cannot fight. The world waited. A moment passed, then another. Then, the ship turned. Not toward Earth. Away. Slowly. Silently. It vanished into the stars. Back in the cradle, the light dimmed. Cole and Alira dropped to their knees, breath shaking. The power faded from their veins. The cradle went still. It's over, Cole said, barely able to believe it. Alira looked up, her eyes wet. We won without war. He looked at her, half smiling. That's not what I expected from a weapon forged by ancient rage. She leaned closer. Maybe it's because you reminded it what love looks like. They walked out of the cradle. Together, the sky above Earth cleared. No alarms, no war. Just peace. And the beginning of something new. Months later, Earth's leaders would ask Cole what really happened in the cradle. He never told them everything. Just that he made a choice. And somewhere far beyond the stars, someone who once stood alone now walked with him. Side by side.